Out with Marianne again, and we are going to go back to talking about, and here's one of the things I really love about what Wolf does too, is that he really thinks of it from your perspective. Now, when he's in his restaurants, I've been to his restaurants, you've been to his restaurants, he can use industrial, gigantic choppers, blenders, mixers, all these things. You know, he's probably got an immersion blender that's like like pole vaulting, like this big, right? But he realizes you at home don't need those big giant machines because you're cooking for 4, 6, maybe 8, 10, 12 people at the most. So what he does is he creates those wonderful products on your level. And this machine is in the sweet spot of food processor sizes, because I don't need a gigantic one. It's me and Danny, but a little teeny tiny one at the same time, Marianne.
You don't want a toy.
No, and I don't want to have to clean something that small.
Yeah.
This is perfect. It's 400 watts. It is 50 ounce. It's what we call our compact processor. Look at the price today. This is also discounted 40% off. It was $50. Now it's less than $30. This is going to be your best friend in the kitchen, and this truly will do it all. You can chop, mince, puree, anything you pretty much you can do with a knife, you can do in here.
Absolutely, but at home, chopping, the prepping for the meal, the getting all the stuff ready is what stops us so many times. It's hard. We're busy. We have so few minutes to actually do the cooking that when you can have an appliance that can take the food this way without you having to prep before you prep, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. I need this because this is going to change my cooking and make it faster, make it better. It has to be easy or we're not going to do it. Wolfgang knows that. So what's so wonderful with his chopper is if the food fits between the stem and the wall of the container, you don't have to cut it before you start processing it. But it's so easy. Let me show you what 4 blades do instead of 2, and then I'll show you how the blade system works. Silicone gasketed lid that you just plunk down. You don't have to line it up. It doesn't have a fancy thing where you have to like, oh my gosh, is it ready to go? You put your power hub on top. With your power hub, you have either high or low, and you can use your pinky to tap to get this homemade salsa to be perfect. But look at how beautifully it does. It doesn't just sort of chop, it perfectly chops. If you want that salsa to be fine, if you want it to be chunky, your tap on that motor directly goes down to the 4 blades until that salsa is exactly how you want it. Fresh is best, but it has to be easy. Can you imagine getting your dull knife and trying to do this at home?
Oh my gosh.
So many times that's what stops us. But look at how perfectly, I like it really chunky. The jalapeno is chopped, everything is perfect. But see how I'm holding 4 blades here? What Wolfgang figured out with his chopper is that if he added 4 blades, 2 stacked on top of each other, as the food gets cut, it gets kicked up the sides of the container. So what happens is it stays there and then you have uneven chopping. When you add a higher set of blades on top of that, as the food gets kicked up, it gets cut a second time. So it's just a brilliant way to chop. And then he didn't stop there. With his carafe, he chose to use oh dear, I'm forgetting the name.
The Triton?
Polyester. So this is where it gets so clear. It doesn't get that hazing when you put it in the dishwasher. It's incredibly strong. It doesn't have any of the bad stuff, all the good. That's what we want.
Exactly right. And you will love the chopping that you get with this, because I've used this machine for a long, long time. And you know, regular food processors are trying to line things up and deal with all that stuff. I have no patience for that. This one is so easy. Everything stacks. It's just you put the lid on, you put the top on, and that's good. If you want to make your specialty drinks, if you want to make cocktails, if you want to make healthy blended drinks like Marianne is making now, and I can't wait to try this because I'm seeing banana, I'm seeing kiwi, pineapple, grapes, and coconut water. You can do this yourself. And watch, you simply pop the lid on again. We'll turn it to the,
the cord is a little bit,
no worries. You pop it on. I think you got to go that way. There we go. Are we in? Almost?
Nope. And we don't have power either.
Okay, we'll just plug that one in. No worries.
There we go.
While we straighten it out. But what I'm saying is you can add any of these fresh ingredients, and it could be whatever kind of fruit that you have or whatever is available. You can make these delicious decisions for yourself. It's on price break $29. You ready?
Yeah.
It's on price break $29.95. There we go. We have like 9 plugs back here, so sometimes we knock them out and it makes it a little bit difficult, but no worries. A lot easier. No, hey, we can do it on TV, you can do it at home.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh my gosh, look what you're making.
So this is that morning smoothie, that frozen drink.
Yeah.
All I'm doing, see, one finger. You could use your little pinky, you could use your elbow. It's just so easy. You're in control of how fine you get it. But all that whole food is now processed into a smoothie that's really, really yummy. We added ice so it stays nice and cold. And if you're new to starting with the green fruits and vegetables in the morning with your children or grandchildren, put it in a cup where they can't see what's inside so they don't have to look at the green. Because when you taste it, all you taste is yummy fruit. It just tastes delicious.
I'd rather drink mine out of the dinosaur cup, but I guess I'll have it out of the big boy cup. No, that's okay.
Nice, right?
Ridiculous.
But see, the prepping is what stops us from making so many great meals. And with a chopper like this, designed by Wolfgang Puck, it really came about because of you. You are so smart and you ask for more. And I love that Wolfgang listens to you and comes up with these appliances that make it better, make it faster, make it easier in the kitchen. That's what is so important to getting healthful meals on the table. So what we're doing here is chicken salad. You're gonna process it until it's as fine or as smooth as you want. So chicken, we got lots of veggies, we got some grapes, raisins, a little bit of light mayo or even some yogurt. Do it as fine or as chunky as you want. We'll need to scrape a little bit. But 4 blades are better than 2. Why? Because as that food gets cut, it gets kicked up along the sides. Then the second set of blades that are mounted higher are going to chop it a second time. So that's all it takes to make perfect salads. If you wanted to make chili, like a big pot of chili, I don't know about you, but my recipe calls for 6 cups of chopped onions. Are you kidding? Can you imagine how much you'd be crying? Your mascara would be running down your face. 6 cups is so much. But when you add them to the chopper, it's a few taps of a pinky to get them perfectly done. So it's easy.
And again, no spinning, no trying to line up arrows or any of that stuff. You put your blade inside, you put the little plastic lid on top, and then you put the engine on top, and that's all you need. As far as cleaning, yeah, you could put this in the dishwasher. Most people rinse it. It's so much easier to just rinse it out and put it back over there. But if you want, you can do that. You can make any kind of a meal that you would like. You can do desserts in here. You can do breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I see you doing some kind of a frozen blueberry something.
Like a blueberry ice cream. And with whatever fruits you want, it can be organic, whatever you want.
See, I love that because nobody makes blueberry ice cream, right? Right? What about you don't see that?
So you're gonna make it the way you want, but that power is enough to take the frozen fruit, mix with the cream and the little bit of sugar that we've got in there, and turn it into a nice silky ice cream where it's natural. You know exactly what's in it. It's faster to make it here, Guy, than it is for you to open a carton of ice cream.
Yeah.
And I don't think I put the agave in, so it needs a
You
little
forgot to put the sweet
stuff and you don't have to. If your blueberries are really sweet, you don't need to.
Right.
But just tap the power button and let it go until it's nice and smooth.
Yep.
And then watch your family eat it and see how much they enjoy that flavor, where it's fresh and it's easy. You didn't spend forever making it. And that's because we have 4 blades instead of 2.
Look at how good this is. Now, if you want to make your own strawberry ice cream, peach ice cream, banana, you can do this. Look at how perfect that came out. And that's, and that's the basics of ice cream. A little heavy cream, a little bit of sweetener, and then whatever fruit you want to put in there. It's not that complicated. You can do it yourself, and you can save yourself a lot of money, and I will guarantee you it will taste better. Anything you make yourself, I love the way you always say that. You don't want to process your food too much if you can do it yourself, but you want to be able to do it practically, and you want to be able to do it so it's not so hard. Otherwise, because all of us, I was a restaurant person for years and years too. If it's so complicated that it's easier to buy it, you're not going to do it yourself. You're going to buy it. This is a way to be able to do things that we make it easy for you. So whether you're doing salsas or you're doing salad dressings, which are great inside here as well, or any kind of a smoothie or anything that you need to mix, you're going to get that great power because it does it all. As I said, it chops, it purees. It whisks inside here, it whips, it mixes. So if you're doing batters for pancakes or waffles or whatever, you can mix that in there as well.
Any of the mundane chores, that's what's so great. We might get tired of chopping, but when you've got a really strong motor with that hub on top of it, it doesn't care how many times you ask it to chop. So you're going to be able to get all of that prep done really quickly, including chopping ice. This chopper has so much power, it's perfect for using leftovers. So instead of throwing away the leftover coffee, save it. You added some ice. You added a little bit of caramel, agave if that's what you want. Whatever kind of dairy or non-dairy you like to have, and start saving some money. Oh my goodness, we know, I guess we got it in a coffee cup, but we love the ice drinks, we love the hot ones, but it's so easy to make at home. You're in control of the calories, and it's really, really delicious and easy.
I gotta go in there and figure out what you just did there. It's some kind of a coffee thing, right? Yeah. Look at that. Kyle, my producer,
we pay how much at the coffee places for this kind of stuff, but you can do it at home when you have an appliance that makes it easy.
It's something about iced coffee.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's all the rage right now, right? The cold brewed stuff and all that stuff. But it does bring out, the flavor is amazing.
Though.
Yeah,
really
I know.
Expensive to buy.
Do it yourself. Wow, this is great. All right. Let's do a little business really quickly. Let me show you your colors. So you have your choice, and really it's the lid that we're talking about here. It comes in turquoise, it comes in red, or it comes in black. Whoever orders will get the big jar that we talk about, and this is a 50-ounce jar. And again, user-friendly, easy to wash. Clean it out in the sink, or you can pop it in the dishwasher. You get the two-blade system. These stack on top of each other, and you get the little instruction book of how to utilize it. And there's also some recipes included too. Really, you know, there's so much you can do compared to like a big industrial food processor. And I had one of those years ago. I used it for a little while. I don't use it anymore.
And I
have a stick blender that I use a lot too, that I like, but the big industrial blenders, nobody uses them anymore.
Where is it? And do you have to get it out of a cabinet and try to lug it up onto the counter, or maybe ask your husband to do it for you?
Yeah, it
do
takes
you
up space.
really need to get out that gigantic thing just to do the small amount of chopping that you need? If it's just that little bit of ice cream, because maybe you're like me, you don't want a gigantic container of it because you go back and eat it, but you saw this was just enough for two. Small amount of ice cream. If you want to make that one coffee drink, this is that perfect size with the motor hub that sits on top where you choose high or low on this little guy, and one little tap of your finger is all it takes to operate it. It's so easy, but it's really powerful. I love that Wolfgang added that nonstick foot. It's just a silicone ring that sits on top, so it makes it very secure on your counter. I love that this whole thing can go in the microwave if you wanted to say, we're doing Parmesan cheese right now, but if you wanted to make this into an Alfredo, you could blend it in here and then take out the blades and put it into your microwave. But this is where you're gonna see those two stacked blades, so it's actually four. They stack on top of each other because when you can cut things more than once, they cut more evenly. It's faster. It's just a better way to cut. So rock hard Parmesan cheese like this, add that to the chopper, add the lid, and it has this big silicone gasket along the edge of it, so you just plunk it down wherever. It doesn't have to line up any certain way. The motor will line up on this little divot part, and then all you're gonna do is tap the top until you got it going, and just watch until the pieces get small, until they're the size that you want.
Yeah.
You can actually use larger cuts of cheese, which are much more inexpensive to buy, they're better for you, and they're not coated with wax. If you're still buying that can of Parmesan cheese in a green can,
we need to talk.
why do they keep it on the shelf where the dry pasta is? How come it's not even cold?
Isn't that terrible? I know, if your cheese doesn't need to be refrigerated, then I would go to a different cheese company. That's a little, there's something going on in there. But anyway, as you said, so you can make it as finely chopped as you'd like. This is actually a perfect size for salads, for Caesar salads and things like that.
And you would
I
go
like
finer for something else, for pasta.
Yeah, a little bit chunkier for that, but for pasta or for making sauces, that's ideal. So you have control of this. $29.95. It's flex pay of only $14.98. It's almost half off. It's about 40% off today. And in my opinion, there's not an easier food processor out there to use in the marketplace. It is so simple, and I think that's the struggle everybody has, is that they all have to twist and lock, and there's all these different components, and it makes it really, really hard. So again, if you want a color, this is the turquoise right here, and this is just for the lid part of it. It also comes in red, and it comes in black. The chopping blade, we showed you how that worked. This basically stacks one on top of the other, and that's how that works, and that's how you get that great chopping from a couple of different levels. You can sort of see how it works right there. And so it really does it twice as fast as you would need to. And then, of course, there's also the little booklet which goes inside here, which gives you all the instructions and ways you can utilize this, and things and ideas for how to use it as well. All right, what's next? I see you have another table, so I'm going to let you go over here.
Well, this is one of the ones that lets you say, oh my gosh, I've got to get this. If you have a new baby, or you know someone that's, or maybe you're going to have a grandchild soon. Our youngest granddaughter is just 7 months, so just starting to really get into the eating of baby food. But you don't need to go out to the store and buy those expensive machines that are made just to process baby food.
Right.
No way. Use something that's a multitasker in your kitchen where it's got those 4 blades, so it's so easy. So if you ever go buy the box of rice cereal that the doctor will tell you to start your baby on, read the back of it. It's not just rice, it's not just banana, it's all kinds of nasty stuff that doesn't need to be in there. So to make our own organic rice banana cereal, what we did was use our rice cooker to make organic brown rice.
Okay.
Add that to the cooker. You could add the formula or water or whatever liquid you want. We're just using some water today.
Okay.
And then a nice ripe, whoops, lost the lid. And then a nice ripe banana. And watch how easy this goes, Guy. make sure it's
love
really
this.
nice and rice.
Think about this too for your, you hadn't even mentioned pet foods and things like that.
Oh my
if you want to do that, I know a
right?
lot of people are doing that with their
We
pets.
love our pets.
They're other babies, so to speak, and they're making it. But watch this now. I love when you do these kinds of demonstrations because it's like, you go and you buy food, and it's all processed. It has preservatives. Baby food is usually kept in an area where it's not refrigerated. So, if you're getting jars of baby food and they're not refrigerated, then they have some kind of
And they sit on the shelf for how long?
Right.
And
Who knows?
why? And the thing is, if we, as grown-ups, when we taste that food, the baby food out of the jar or the can, what do? We want to spit too.
Yeah.
No wonder your baby does. But this,
Is that why babies spit? They're
yes,
like,
this is pureed.
This tastes terrible.
But this tastes like brown rice and banana.
Yeah.
It's all natural. You saw everything that went in it. Your children, your pets deserve to eat great too, not something that, right? Thank you for doing that, right?
That is awesome. I'm a big baby right now. No, that is so good. And it doesn't need any sweetener because the banana's sweet enough.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Especially little ones. And they don't, I'm convinced too. When they're that little, they don't know the difference at that point. They don't know something that's really sweet versus just sweet enough.
Yeah.
It's like, you get conditioned that way. So when a baby, I'll never forget the first time Danny ate meat for the first time, and his little eyes almost popped out of his head. He was like, yeah, meat is good. It was crazy. But they don't know any better. They just want something that's healthy and natural, or you do, for them. And that's what you can make for them. If you want to make yourself, smoothies, any kind of a drink, adult beverages, you can do that too, right?
Yeah, so this is a cantaloupe margarita. We added a little bit of the simple syrup, a little bit of the alcohol, whatever the choice is yours. Cantaloupe that's perfectly ripe right now, and then a whole bunch of ice, because this chopper has enough power to beautifully de-ice as well. So imagine the things that it's replacing already. You don't need a gigantic blender. You don't need a lot of different tools. This one is so versatile. It doesn't take up a lot of room. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's easy to operate. One button that sits on top. You can do this and you deserve it.